so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, classmates, faculty, friends, and family. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for Homer Center's class of 2022. I first want to thank you all on behalf of my classmates and myself for joining us today and for helping us reach this very exciting milestone. Each of you sitting in the audience has impacted someone on this stage in one way or another throughout our school careers. I also want to congratulate every person sitting behind me. We have all worked very hard over the last several years to reach this point, and we had to learn a lot along the way. Beyond learning about math, science, English, social studies, etc., we also learned who we are capable of being, and most importantly, we learned what it means to be a Homer Center Wildcat. I am sure that all of my classmates would agree that being a Wildcat has been an unforgettable and irreplaceable experience. So, thank you to the parents and other family members who made that experience possible by providing us with the love, support, and guidance that we needed. Thank you to our teachers and administration for putting up with this class for the past 6 years. I'm sure that we were a pain in the neck at times, but just know that we appreciate you taking care of us and preparing us for the next step in each of our lives. Each one of you has had a helping hand in building the future of this class, and you have helped us create memories that we will cherish and look back on for the rest of our lives. It has truly been an honor being a Wildcat, especially with this special group of classmates, and the most caring teachers and administration guiding us every step of the way. With all of that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the celebration of the class of 2022's accomplishments.
When I arrived at Homer Center in 2008, we were in the process of transitioning from valedictorian, salutatorian, a standard class rank system to a Magna and Summa system. We transitioned to that system, I believe, in 2012. And then a few years ago, the school board had decided that we still need to honor those who have the highest grade point averages in their class. So this time, sorry about the delay. This time it's my pleasure to announce the valedictorian of the Homer Center class of 2022. She is a Summa Scholar and a member of the National Honor Society with an overall grade point average of 102.053. She'll be attending Smith College, majoring in biochemistry. She's the daughter of Dr. Ellen and Denise Eastman of Homer City. Ladies and gentlemen, the valedictorian of the class of 2022, Miss Sophia Eastman. This time it's my pleasure to announce the salutatorian of the Homer Center class of 2022. She is a Summa Scholar, a member of National Honor Society with an overall grade point average of 101.405. She'll be attending Duquesne University, majoring in pharmacy. She's the daughter of Greg and Tracy Page of Homer City. Ladies and gentlemen, the salutatorian of the class of 2022, Miss Gabrielle Page. So how do we decide our student speakers are that we take all of our Summa Scholars. Our Summa Scholars have to have a grade point average of 98% or higher for their cumulative average from the time they're a freshman till graduation. The senior class then gets those names of our Summa Scholars on a ballot, and they select one of their own to present the senior student selected speech or address. So the senior class student selected speaker is a Summa Scholar, senior class president, member of the National Honor Society, Heritage Conference, member of the Heritage Conference science team, and member of the Wildcat football team. His future plans are to attend Indiana University of Pennsylvania, majoring in Management Information Technology. He is the son of Richard and Cheryl Turk of Homer City. Ladies and gentlemen, our student selected speaker for the class of 2022, Mr. Isaac Turk.
Good evening, friends and family. I am Senior Class President Isaac Turk, who also happens to be the student selected speaker for tonight. Having both of these titles on this occasion basically means whether you like me or not, you're going to hear me speak tonight. Before I get things started, I'd like to thank my fellow classmates for not only giving me the privilege to speak tonight, but also for allowing me to be the face of the class throughout the year. Even though nobody ran against me for office, I still managed to make it a race against myself. I don't know about you guys, but I've had senioritis since my freshman year. I know, it's a little early to catch it, and it made my high school experience a little more difficult than it should have been, but nonetheless, I still made it to graduation tonight. This horrible ailment of mine is making graduation feel like a fever dream. Because even though this is the one moment I've been looking forward to for the past sum of years, it doesn't feel real now that it's here. But regardless of whether I'm ready or not, I believe that classmates and administration are thinking alike right now. And it's about time for our class to move on with our lives and mosey on out of good old Homer Center. Speaking of time, I'd like to take a second to reflect and reminisce on past years. Just think all the way back to elementary school. In August of 2009, we were either smiling or crying as we entered the elementary building for the first day of kindergarten. Over the course of 7 years, I remember kindergarten graduation, playing hot cross buns on our recorders, field trips to Punxsutawney, Pittsburgh, Johnstown, and Gettysburg, the talk in 5th grade, the spelling bee, and so many teachers. I even remember my own mother being my math teacher. We sure made a mark on the elementary by getting just about everything banned at recess. From kickball to Pokemon cards, we had almost every sport or hobby taken away from us at one point or another. Now let's think about our time at the high school. Does anyone remember how nice it was to finally be treated like young adults, not walking in a single file line, picking our own classes, being able to talk in the hallway, chew gum, and even being able to make our first big educational choice with ICTC. With high school came varsity sports, concert, marching band, musicals, dances, and proms. Do you remember working the restaurant days in 7th grade? for us guys, the first locker room experience, and even Mrs. Viazenko. Although it felt forever, the years did fly by. We would have never predicted that the final years of our public schooling would have been interrupted by a pandemic. Quarantine, masks, no masks, then masks again, 6 feet apart. Although this isn't part of our lives anymore, it's hard to believe that this was dogma for almost 2 years. Another experience that we all shared was quarantine. Personally, I didn't think that quarantine was that bad for a lot of us. Some of us took the time as a second summer. We hung out with our friends and family while others boarded up their doors and windows and isolated themselves from the rest of the world. Whether you were secluded or not, quarantine was an event that disrupted our high school experience, and it was a time that we all shared differently. The final senior class activity that the majority of us shared kind of outside of school, but it was our camp out on the track. That night was so much fun for all of us, setting up tents, grilling hot dogs and burgers, and playing various games. It was truly a night to remember. Some of us even got a rolling start into our new lives. Anyways, now that we've taken a moment to look back, let's get to why we're here today, to look towards the future. We all made it to tonight just to get a little piece of paper that basically says, look at this guy. He spent a lot of time at Homer Center. But in all seriousness, this is the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. It's opening right before our eyes, whether we like it or not. This is the last event that we're all going to be here together for, so take it all in while you can. The future for all of us is going to be different. After today, we will no longer be linked together in our small rural school. Our chains will break apart, our paths will diverge. Some of us may choose to not go to school and build a cabin in the woods. Some of us may choose to go to med school or law school, spend 12 more years and get a degree. These experiences are going to come in a variety, from spontaneity to difficulty, but no matter what we endure later in our lives, we will have support from our friends, family, and of course, alma mater. Classmates, I would like you to take a second to look around. Find your parents, guardians, siblings, anyone who's here to support you. Give them your heartfelt thanks. We need to realize no matter how much they nag at you at home, they're here to give you their full support and love as you participate in this oh so important event in your lives. I would also like to take this opportunity to have a moment of silence for those who passed and gave up their hearts in support of you, especially for a dear friend of ours. Thank you. I know you're ready for me to wrap this up, so I'll get right to it. As you see in the program, this speech is named It's About Time, so let me elaborate on that. It's about time is a phrase that I've used a lot in my life, but it truly does apply to us right now. It's about time for us to grow up. It's about time for us to receive our diplomas. It's about time for us to graduate. It's about time for us to fly out of our nests. And most importantly, it's about time for me to stop talking. So, truly, thank you, class of 2022, for giving me the honor to speak as well as the best years of my life. Thank you.
So how do we select our second speaker? We give the same ballot to our faculty, and we ask them to vote to select one of the Summa Scholars from the senior class to give an address, the faculty selected speaker address. So this time the faculty selected speaker is a Summa Scholar, a senior class historian, member of National Honor Society, she's a member of the Heritage Conference math team, the school newspaper staff, Friends of Rachel Club, the Book Club, and Eco Club. She's also a member of the cross country and track teams, as well as a member of the Heritage Conference and District 6 Girls Basketball Championship team. Her future plans are to attend Seton Hill University, majoring in pre-law. She is the daughter of Clarence and Catherine Elliott of Homer City. Ladies and gentlemen, our faculty selected speaker for the class of 2022, Miss Ayanna Elliott.
I would like to start off by thanking the honor, and I'm very grateful. But I'll admit, when I sat down to write this, I had no idea what I was going to say. I stared at a blank computer screen for longer than I'd like to admit, trying to figure out how I managed to convince the faculty that I was the best option to speak today. I didn't want to throw out a bunch of quotes that nobody had ever heard, claiming they were life-changing, but I also didn't want to go off on a tangent that nobody cared about. I thought about standing up here and saying that everybody graduating today would go into the world and become a successful millionaire who will never have another worry in their lives. However, I'm personally not a fan of knowingly making a liar of myself. In a perfect world, that would be reality, but we don't live in a perfect world. At some point, life is going to throw some type of major adversity in each of our lives, but I am beyond confident that this group, who I've spent the last 13 years getting to grow up with, will be able to overcome any situation thrown in our faces. Charles Swindoll once made a statement I'm sure many of you have heard. He said life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. In the years of our schooling, we've faced many obstacles, from fighting off boredom due to getting nearly every game banned at recess, to learning through a devastating pandemic. We've all faced life-changing incidents and roadblocks and managed to react accordingly and come out on the other side stronger than anyone could have expected. I've seen my peers go through some of the worst and best days of their lives, and they've seen me through mine, but at no point have I seen anyone just throw in the towel and give up. I'm not entirely sure where or when my classmates learned to be so resilient, but I do know growing up with a group of kids ready and willing to work through any situation has been nothing short of a blessing. As many of you probably know, in the course of our high school years, I lost both of my parents, and quite honestly, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get through it, given they were my biggest supporters and best friends. I'd always been the type of person to go with the flow and not let anything bother me, but for the first time, I found myself in a situation where I couldn't. Being surrounded by classmates who not only made sure to reach out and offer to help me through it, but confidently walked through problems in their own lives honestly had a huge impact on how I was able to cope and move on. Of course, I have a support system at home, and I was raised to work through problems instead of avoid them, but walking into a building 5 days a week, 180 days a year, where I knew everyone was there for each other and seeing them still standing after the obstacles life put in their paths really helped to keep me going. I don't think people take enough time to look around and really think about what one another is going through. Throughout my years here, I consciously made an effort to think about what my classmates were enduring in their own lives. And when I took a step back and truly thought about it, I was at a loss for words. While I was going through my own issues, it was so easy to have a feel bad for me mindset. But seeing my peers going through tough situations of their own and then walk into school like nothing was wrong or with the attitude that bad days don't last forever was admirable. I honestly believe that the resilience instilled in each person sitting behind me is nothing short of impressive and will lead each of them to some sort of success. So in short, what I'm saying is thank you to my peers for unknowingly helping me get through high school. And thank you to the parents who raised their children to never get up. To my classmates, I wish you guys nothing but the best. And to the family members scared of sending them into the real world, these guys are going to be fine. Thank you.
It's my privilege to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. Francis Bernard Bernie Kish is a 1956 graduate of Laura Lamar High School and was the senior class vice president. Bernie was born and raised in Lucerne Mines, the son of Andrew B. and Anna G. Gnibus Kish. He attended Lucerne Grade School and graduated from Indiana State College, now IUP, with a Bachelor of Science degree in Geography and Social Studies and was a Dean's List student. Kish was also a distinguished military graduate and commissioned a lieutenant in the Quartermaster Corps with 2-year detail in the infantry. He served in the Army for 29 and a half years, completing his service as a full colonel. He had 2 tours in the Federal Republic of Germany and combat tours in Vietnam and Cambodia, as well as several stateside postings. Following his military service, he was the executive director of the College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana for 10 years, before returning to Lawrence, Kansas to teach at the University of Kansas. He taught at KU for 15 years, winning 6 different teaching awards, including the HOPE, which is Honor for Outstanding Progressive Educator Award, the highest award given by the senior class at KU. He retired from teaching in December of 2020 and is enjoying retired life with his wife of 50 years, Judy. Bernie is an avid follower of KU sports. They have 2 daughters, Carrie Kish Suvak and Catherine Kish Heyman, and 2 grandchildren, Theo, who's 9, and Karis, almost 4 years. Bernie also wanted to take a moment to remember his younger brother, Andy. Andy was a 1960 Laura Lamar graduate and a graduate of the United States Naval Academy. Andy passed in 2019 and is missed by his family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege, and would you please join me in welcoming back to Homer Center, Bernie Kish, Laura Lamar, class of 1956.
Well, thank you very much, Superintendent Weitzel, and good evening. Principal Rainey, parents, grandparents, friends, and most importantly, the 2022 graduates of Homer Center High School. It's such an honor for me to be asked to speak to you this evening. I'm not the first Kish to address a graduating class at Homer Center because my brother Andy in 1987 spoke to the graduates. I'm a proud 1956 graduate of Laura Lamar High School. And for those of you that don't know, you wonder, how in the world did we come up with this name, Laura Lamar High School? Well, Laura Lamar was the first white settler in Center Township, and back in the 50s, our school board decided that the school should be named in her honor. So that's how it all came about. Now, I want to take a minute to tell you a little story, and it might have the lesson learned may be keep the faith or you never know. My first tour in the U.S. military was in Germany from 1960 to 1964. And I was dating a very pretty German girl named Christa Barton, who was my first wife. We used to go on Saturday nights to the Army Hotel in Nuremberg, and we would dance, have a nice dinner, dance, and so forth. And as was the custom back then, a guy gave his best girl his class ring. So Krista had my class ring. She had it taped up and wore it. And that evening, when we were dancing, she said, "Excuse me, I need to go to the restroom." So she went to the restroom. She came back and she said, "Oh my God, Francis, I left your ring in the restroom." So she went back down, and lo and behold, it wasn't there. That was in 1962. In 2020, 58 years later, I got a call from a gentleman in Kankakee, Illinois, and said, "Is this Francis B. Kish?" And I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Well, I think I have your Indiana State College class ring. My mom, who was German, passed away about 6 weeks ago, and we were going through her personal effects, and we came upon this ring. And sure enough, the ring was returned to me in 2020. So I guess the lesson is keep the faith, because you never know what's going to happen. I want to now talk about a little bit my time at Laura Lamar High School. As I said, I'm a 1956 graduate, and I have so many wonderful memories of my 4 years at LLHS. Then we were located on Wiley Avenue at the original high school. Athletically, we were superb. When I was a sophomore, we defeated Indiana to win the county basketball tournament 55-50 after falling behind 20-5 after one quarter, paced by the scoring of Eddie Horchar, Guy Battistelli, and Raymond Greenwald, and the rebounding of Steve Rash. I also was very impressed that this year our girls basketball team here at Homer Center followed kind of the same scenario. They were behind at halftime. but they came back and won very, very convincingly, and I was especially proud that my cousin Mary's daughter Macy was a key player on that team. During my junior year, we went undefeated in football, again paced by Guido Battistelli, Lou Pernici, and my Lucerne buddies, Millard Barr and Dwayne Smith. We also boasted the world's most beautiful majorette. Karen Barkley won that title in the summer of our junior year. However, there was also sadness. My classmate, Lucille Lockhart, died from polio during our sophomore year, 3 years before Dr. Salk from the University of Pittsburgh discovered the polio vaccine. And Tommy Tugsy Edwards was killed in an automobile accident 1 month before our graduation. So many wonderful memories. Tonight, though, I want to leave you seniors with 2 thoughts. First, there's another group here with us tonight, a group to whom much is owed by you, the Homer Center senior graduates, who epitomize the words caring and committed. These people are your teachers, your coaches, your administrators. What a noble and underappreciated profession, teaching. There is a scene in the wonderful play, A Man for All Seasons, that I always recall when thinking of teachers. Sir Thomas More is asked by one of his proteges, Rich, what should be my life's work? And Sir Thomas replies, why not be a teacher? You'd be a fine teacher, perhaps even a great one. A teacher? Rich says somewhat incredulously, and if I were, who would know it? Well, Sir Thomas replies, you would know it, and your pupils would know, and God would know. Not a bad public, that. I know that each of you have been mentored, challenged, and encouraged by a great teacher or teachers, a great coach or coaches here at Homer Center or at your respective grade school. And I ask that you express your feelings of appreciation to them and visit them often after graduation. For me, that was my 5th grade teacher, Nellie Clark, at Lucerne Grade School. And Mrs. Clark remained in touch with me until she was well into her 90s. She was the one that cultivated my love of history, which I still have today. In closing, I want to leave you with one more thought. I am certain that many of you have read the late J.D. Salinger's classic work, The Catcher in the Rye. Late in that story, Holden Caulfield's little sister Phoebe chides him that he has no goals in life, that he does not know what he wants to be. And Holden replies, you know what I'd like to be? I mean, if I really had a choice. I keep picturing all these little kids playing games in this big field of rye. Thousands of little kids. And nobody's around big, I mean, except me. And I'm standing on the edge of some crazy cliff. And what I have to do is catch everybody if they start going over the cliff. If they are running and don't look where they're going. I come out from somewhere and I catch them. That's what I do all day. I just be the catcher in the rye. Every one of you students, every one, have had many catchers in the rye. Your parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, teachers, coaches, friends, men and women standing ready to help you when you faltered, became discouraged, suffered heartbreak, or experienced failure. So, as you go forward in life, I encourage you to become a catcher in the rye, a person standing ready to help others, particularly those younger than you, brothers, sisters, the little kid down the block, when they stumble and fall from the cliffs of life. In conclusion, in Fyodor Dostoevsky's classic work, The Brothers Karamazov, there is an emotional farewell scene where Yuri is saying to his brother Georgy, it's time for us to say so long. He puts his arm around him and says, no matter what we do in the future, whether we achieve great fame or fall upon misfortune, let's always remember what it was once like here when we were united together in a good and common cause that made each of us better than we really are. Every time I come back home, I think about that. I think about growing up in Lucerne. I think about going to grade school there. I think about coming to Homer Center, then Loyola Lamar High School, and then to IUP. Because being with those people, being raised by my mom and dad, having a great brother like my brother Andy, made me a better person than I really am. Thank you again for the honor of being with you tonight. I will forever be a proud Wildcat. I wish each of you students, as well as your parents, grandparents, and teachers and coaches and friends, good luck and Godspeed. May God bless you, and may God always bless our great nation, the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here with this graduating class. At this time, please direct your attention to the graduation program. Here you will find a listing of scholarships and awards that many of our graduates earned towards post-secondary education. The scholarships earned signify excellence in academics, character, leadership, the fine arts, and athletics. Students who earned a scholarship, please stand. The students earning these scholarships spent a great deal of time seeking out and applying for scholarships that they earned. Please join me in one more round of applause for them. At this time, I'd also like to recognize the graduating members of the Homer Center National Honor Society. Would the NHS members please stand? These outstanding students have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, leadership, service, and character throughout high school. Thank you for your leadership in our school and in our community. You may be seated. Honored guests, once again, out of respect for each of our students, we ask that you please hold your applause until all graduates have received their diplomas. These students have persevered through 13 years of schooling. Please allow them to have the attention on themselves as they receive their diploma. Students, I believe that each of you have been put here on this earth to fulfill a purpose. Some of you might be sitting here knowing exactly what that looks like, and many of you are sitting here having no idea what that looks like. But I can tell you that it's been an honor watching you get to this point, and I can't wait to see what you do as you go out there and fulfill that purpose. At this time, Mr. Weitzel, Mr. Rainey, please come forward, and Mr. Michael Burdig to present the diplomas to the graduating members of the class of 2022. Gabrielle Reese Page. Isaac Dean Turk. Ayana Annette Elliott. Justin Edward Walbeck.
Ryan Joseph Fabian. Sophia Eleanor Eastman. Marley Elizabeth Kaufman. Alicia Rose George. Jacqueline Vana LaRose. Elizabeth Irene Shirley. Maggie Lynn Buggy. Mariah Brooke Strong. Nadia Marie Fairman. Michaela Renee Catalano. Aubrey Jean Ruddick. Kirsten Renee Gett. Rebecca Nicole Smith. Maya Danielle Fatula. Morgan Paige Brenlinger. Amelia Elizabeth Brewer. Stella Ann Sawula. Lindsay Renee Succiarelli. Adriana Capri Putnam Murphy. Isabella Aline Bentz. Sydney Lee Kishlock. Jacqueline Marie Lear. Dalton James Meyer. Ian Thomas Bennett. Owen Ray Foltz. Cole Andrew Harper. Andrew Dean Ruddick. Xander Eugene Silvis. Jacob Nathaniel Kish. Matthew David Steffi. Nicholas Matthew Taylor. Quentin Ira Neal. Caleb Allen Zach. Sage Patrick Bernard. Riley Patrick Zeiler. Matthew William Malacker. Victorino Rick Mendiola Meritita. James Thomas Howard. Brogan Kramer Hauser. Tanner James Heidenthal. Joseph Isaiah Shipley. Matthew Garrett Silk. Jared Michael Orsargis. Eli David Normand. Colin Curtis Troop. Jacob Nicholas Matthews. Jacob Allen Cooper. Landon Thomas Nellis. Anthony Dean Rowland. Noah Imani Henry. James Robert Jaworski. Toby Ryan Bishop. Dominic Michael Anderson. Dante Joe Peak. Legend Brady Rankin. Caleb Michael Simmons. Michael Paul Yount. Matthew Lincoln Lee. Cody Matthew Householder. Jonah Bernard Arone. Trayvon Kanye Mills.
Now you can get loud. Let's hear it for Okay, here's the great thing about being the principal. I can move off script anytime I want. So I'm going to interrupt this program to bring you the following announcement. As some of you may know, my youngest son graduated from high school just 2 nights ago. One of the gifts that my wife and I have given both our sons after graduation is we write them our own personal letter to them to express the things that we want to share with them and as they start their next journey of life. So as the principal of Homer Center, the class of 2022, and being a parent who just experienced graduation of my own child 2 days ago, I find myself realizing I'm in a moment. I do not want to look backward, but I'm trying to step back and experience a moment to hold it just a little bit longer and savor the blessings in my life that are occurring in the now. As I spent more time this week with the seniors, I addressed the high school staff for the final time of the school year, and I composed my personal letter to my son to mark his graduation. My message has been pretty consistent, and that is that life is hectic, and we need to recognize and savor moments of life as the culmination of our experiences of small moments in time, and we are often so focused on what is next that we fail to realize that we're in a special moment of the now. So there's a song I heard the other day. Sorry, James, it wasn't Pink Floyd, even though it did play in this loop. James and I have a common light. It's a song called Time Stands Still by the group Rush. I think it captures well the message I've been trying to convey to many this past week, so I want everyone gathered here tonight to pause a moment and listen carefully to some of the words that I've took from this song. So Mrs. Yerke, if you could turn the house lights up a little bit. Okay, seniors, here's what I want you to do. First time I'm ever going to tell you this, and probably the last time, I want you to take your phones out and I want you to power them up. Cell phones will be the death of me someday, I'm sure. Okay. So here's some of the lyrics I pulled from the song. Time stands still. I'm not looking back, but I want to look around me now. Time stands still. See more of the people and the places that surround me now. Time stands still. Freeze this moment just a little longer. Make each sensation a little stronger. Experience. Life is experience. Experience slips away. Experience slips away. Time stands still. So seniors, what I want you to do at this time, you got your phones, you ready? Okay. So here, just be patient. I just want the parents for this one. Parents, I'd like you to stand at this time. If you're a parent, so be patient. Not there yet. For our graduates, this is the only time you will ever graduate from high school. Parents, this is the only time that this one special, specific child of yours will graduate high school. This is a special moment. Regardless of the path your child had taken to get there, and trust me, they were varied. As Isaac said, some of them had senioritis, I think, when they joined kindergarten, but regardless, they're here. It doesn't matter how you got here, you're here. So they have, and they've just received their high school diploma, and this is a special moment, a once in a lifetime moment. So think about this again. Time stands still. I'm not looking back, but I want to look around me now. So what I want you guys to do is look around. Suck this moment in. Let this time stand still. Take in the moment. Time stands still. See more of the people and the places that surround me now. Seniors, look out into the crowd. Find your parents. They are here. They are the people. Your teachers, they are the people. Your administrators, they are the people. Homer Center High School, it is the place. The Homer Center community is the place. This is where we are right now. See more of the people. Think about those people. Think about the places. Take this time in. Time stands still. Freeze this moment a little longer. Hold it in. Make each sensation a little bit stronger. Experience slips away. Experience slips away. Time stands still while I want you seniors to take a picture not only of your parents, I want you to take a picture of anything that you want right this minute, as long as you don't have to go running around the auditorium, of something that you want. Take a picture, a selfie of yourself, turn around, take a picture of your classmates. Don't care. You can take a picture in school for the first time too. Okay, you good? Okay. So one more time, guys, I want you to look out to your parents and from the class, I want you to show your love and appreciation, not only for your parents, but those people sitting by them that are here to support you tonight. Because I will tell you one thing. A lot of times, some of you might be sitting here thinking, I'm 18, I can't wait, I'm going to get out of here, I'm my own person. There will be a time that you look back and you're going to need your parents, and I promise you they'll be there. This school will be here. That faculty in front of you will be here. Our administration, our guidance counselors. This school is not going anywhere. It will always be here for you and to support you. So I hope you take in that moment and to suck it in again and savor it just a little longer. Let's give a round of applause. Show your affection and appreciation for your parents. Okay, parents, you can be seated. Sorry, I know that was a long time, but you probably needed a little bit of exercise there. So no matter the distance you guys travel away from here, no matter how many years pass, you'll be part of the Homer Center family. Homer Center will always be here for you. Your parents, your family will always be here for you. This community. It's time now to let the moment go. That experience go, because you're going to have a couple more here tonight to definitely cherish. Now we return to our regularly scheduled programming. So Mr. Weitzel, as principal of the Homer Center High School, it's my duty to attest to you, these students, members of the Homer Center class of 2022, have met all district state requirements and are eligible to be confirmed as graduates. It is not only my honor, but also my duty to request that you come forward and confirm these eligible candidates as official graduates of Homer Center High School.
President Burdick, members of the Board of School Directors, Mr. Rainey, faculty, family, and friends. At this time, it gives me great pleasure as superintendent of the Homer Center School District to hereby declare these members of our senior class of 2022 have met the requirements established by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Homer Center Board of School Directors, and having received their diplomas, I can confirm that they are officially graduates of the Homer Center School District. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. My name is Justin Walbeck, and I am now the only thing keeping you from fully completing the high school experience. So don't worry, I'll keep it short. I would like to start by congratulating each and every one of of my fellow classmates on finally reaching a day many of us thought would never come, and for some, a day that couldn't have come soon enough. As we enter the next chapter of our lives, I would like to wish everyone the best of luck. The class of 2022 has been through many ups and downs during our time at Homer Center, but that has never stopped us from accomplishing our goals, raising the bar, or even leaving us with life-changing advice like Jared Sargis once did, when he reminded us that if it ain't worth it, but you do it, it wasn't worth it. I, on behalf of the class of 2022, would also like to give a special thanks to all the teachers, staff, coaches, and anyone who's helped us get to where we are now. None of us would be standing here today without your help. To the class that figured out nearly every way to exploit Google Classroom, we made it. Our time has finally come where we can start our own new journey and close a chapter to this long 13-year ride. No matter where life takes us, chin up, head high, and always remember to keep the good vibes on. We invite all family and guests to join us in the gym for going outside. For the ceremonial cap toss on the patio.